Hi, this is Meek from the Knitting by Meek and on Loom and Other Crafts. Today the stitch flowers in a row. Flowers in a row is a stitch which you do with a drop or a elongated stitch. The only thing necessary next to your hook is the behind of a crochet needle or some other knitting tool like a stitch holder. What you need is a multiple of 6. The stitch has 5 elongated stitches and is closed, that's how I call it, by a purl stitch. And because of that must happen at the edge too, so you always have to do a multiple of 6 plus 1. So that then you can do this stitch. What you do, the flowers in a row is always done when you first do a purl row. So your whole row is in a purl stitch. This is the way I do the purl stitch. You just have to watch that you only move your working yarn. Most of the time I see the purl stitch done this way, but this is my way of doing the purl stitch. So take care, only your working yarn is moving. When you have done this row, there will be a row with 1 purl, 5 stitches with 3 wraps above it, so you create a drop or elongated stitch. And then you pull the purl stitch, which you have made in this row, over them. And that's a way you can use a drop stitch for the flowers in a row. So, okay, we start with a purl stitch. Then we counterclockwise 1, 2, 3, move over your stitch over the 3 and continue doing that until you have reached the 5th stitch. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is my last from the first flower in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then I knit a purl stitch, just pull it a little tighter, and then I continue with counterclockwise doing the elongated or drop stitch 5 times. So I will wrap them around until I have reached 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's have a closer look. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And this is the last pack of the row. And as you can see, I started the row with a purl and I close the row with a purl. Next row, we also start with a purl stitch. Then you take off the wraps as careful as you can, because otherwise it becomes a little bit irregular. 3, 4 and 5. One, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and of course you can do this with your knitting tool. Your working yarn is behind those stitches, and then you wrap around, in this case clockwise. When you come from the other side, the right side, you will notice that you counterclockwise those movements. Okay, this is of importance. You have those stitches. Try to have them as good in the middle as possible. Then you wrap your working yarn around, just pull a little tight, and just watch that this piece of yarn have the right tension. Then you pull, then you wrap it around again. Just pull it tighter. You put it down, and then you knit the next stitch purlwise. Okay, then we are going to put back those 5 stitches again on the pegs. You can use your knitting tool, of course, but also you can use your fingers. And if you do, you just have to find out which way is the most easiest way for you. In my case, and with this kind of material, this works the best. So you can also put it with your crochet hook on the loom again. Okay, we had knit this one purlwise. Just pull again until you think it has the right tension. You also can see these are the stitches. This is the middle one. So if the knot, I call it a knot, but this is a wraparound, is in the middle, then you know, okay, I've got the right tension, and just pull. Otherwise your purl stitch between the flowers in a row becomes too loose, and that won't give a good result at all. So next one, I'm going to pull off the elongated stitches again. 2, 3, 4, 5. Put them on my crochet hook again. 2, 3, 4, 5. Just watch if they are as long as the others, otherwise pull a little that they are as long enough. You see that here your purl stitch is loose again, so just pull it before you are going to wrap it around. Go behind your crochet hook, pull it around the stitches once. Watch closely if they are in the middle, and you wrap it around twice just by pulling it. Okay. We just have one stitch left here, so that's the one we are going to knit purlwise. And we are going to put back the stitches on the loom. Watch closely they don't fall off. By your fingers or with your knitting tool, doesn't matter as long as they got back on the loom. Watch closely, pull tight. Okay, and pull it again. Whoop, there he goes. And we pull again. This row will be purled, so we can have a purl row, and that's how the flower in a row is made. It starts with a purl stitch. The stitches in between are purled, and your last row of the flowers in a row is also a purl stitch, and the rows in between which you make are knit stitches. So the flower in a row, you can see it very good when you have finished it. Okay, this is my last purl, and now I will continue with my chosen amount of knit stitches. As you can see, it is very loose now because of the fact the loom is pulling also at the knit work. As you can see, this one is also made, and the stitches are a little bit more smaller. I will demonstrate it in another one which I had already finished. When it's off the loom, you will notice that the wraps around are not quite in the middle. The only thing you have to do is just pull it, or just pull it on the top, so it will appear in the middle of the stitch. And as you can see, it starts with a purl row and it ends with a purl row, and it's very beautiful in between a few knit stitches. I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6 knit rows. As long as you always do the purl row from the left or the right side, so it will have some regularity in it. Okay, this was a video on the flowers in a row. In Dutch we say bloemetjes op een rij. Hope you enjoyed watching, and I hope to see you next time on Knitting by Miek. Bye bye.